Welcome to Teen Tuesday. I hope you're doing well this morning. I have a devotional, something that happened to me when I was a teenager, and I woke up one morning on a Sunday morning, grew up in a Christian home, and decided if Jesus Christ was the one that I was going to really follow. And I remember very rarely missing a day of church. Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, it was just the rule. You went to church. But at 11, I had made a profession of faith, but at 17 years old, I woke up and saying, is this my parents' relationship or is this mine? The amazing thing about this is as you are growing in your teenagers, you will ask yourself this same question. Whose relationship is this really? In fact, once you figure out how difficult it is to follow after Jesus Christ, you're going to determine that, wow, is this my relationship or is this my parents' relationship? For those teenagers that are in college and are getting ready to head to college, you are coming to the point in your life like, who is it that is the most important? Do I really want to live for the Lord or do I want to live for myself? So this question was asked in the scriptures. In fact, a lot of people are so excited about the feeding of the 5,000s. There have been hundreds, if not thousands, of sermons done just in the last 10 years on the feeding of the 5,000, but very, 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 very few people actually go on and keep reading what happened next. At the feeding of the 5,000, Jesus ends up getting into the boat, and he showed his compassion, he showed his mercy, he gets into the boat, and he leaves them. Well, the next day, these folks begin to look for Jesus Christ. And so he starts laying it out. He talks about believing in him, and he says, the Father who sent them to me, he will know it, cast out. I mean, he begins to lay some things out. He talks about the difficulties of what it's going to take to really follow after him and be called one of his disciples. And Jesus immediately in their spirit, he knew they began to grumble and complain and say, these things are tough to hear. In fact, they didn't want to hear what he had to say. Well, why were they there? Well, it was breakfast time. He'd already fed them dinner. Why not feed free health care, free welfare? I mean, that's what Jesus was to them. Why don't you go ahead and establish your kingdom, take over Rome, and give us free health care and free welfare? You see, this story is very exciting about the feeding of the 5,000 plus. You know, that's just men. There's no telling how many people were actually there. And also all the healings that were taking place. So it may even drew a bigger crowd by the time it was the next day. And so when Jesus lays it out about exactly what it takes to follow after him, they grumble and they complain and they say these things are too difficult for us. And in John chapter 6, it explains what they did. He says, as a result of what he had explained and what it would take to follow after him, many of his disciples withdrew and were not walking with him anymore. And you know what this is going to be? This is going to be a lot of the people that you grew up with, you went to church with, that went to summer camp and went down the aisle and filled out a card and put it in the bucket and they were emotional at some point. They're going to come to the point in their life, some of them, that I'm not signing up for this any longer. And what these disciples, these 5,000 plus people, these followers, they had signed up for what Jesus could give them, not what it was going to cost them. That's exactly what's going on in our country today. I don't want to pay for anything. I just want it given to me. That's why socialism is looking so good. Even people who claim to be Christians, they're saying, I want a socialistic government because I want free health care and I want free welfare, but I don't want to work for anything. And Jesus said Christianity is not this at all. That Christianity is about dying to yourself on a daily basis. That's why we don't teach Lent. It's not about what can I give up around the Easter week. It is about dying to myself on a daily basis and what that looks like. And so after they walk away, I imagine it's a very solemn time, seeing all these people disperse. And Jesus looks at his disciples and looks at them and says, what, you don't want to go away? You don't want to leave me? John 6:67. Are you going away also? Do you want to leave? I mean, make your decision now. Who is it that you're going to follow? Of course, Simon Peter speaks up very humbly, and he said, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words to eternal life. Where else are we going to go? I think, where did the 5,000 people go? plus 6, 7, 10,000. Where did they go? They went back to find food. They went back to do what they want to do, to live for themselves. And Peter said, I don't have anything else to go back to. I've surrendered it all to you. There's not a second option here. So teens, what I want you to discover is this. Who is it that you want to follow? If you're going to live for yourself, if you're going to follow after Satan, or if you've surrendered to God, know this, that there is a cost. There's a cost following after Satan. There's a cost following after Jesus Christ. The end result is very much different. But you need to decide, who is it that you're going to follow? Don't follow Jesus Christ just because you get VBS, or you get youth group, or you get a place to come and get snacks, or you get to have fun with your friends. Follow after Jesus Christ because it is who you are. I don't have nowhere else to go, as Peter said. The end result, Christianity's tough. And that's what these people, these 5,000 plus, figured out. This is not about how I can get free health care and free welfare. This is about how I'm going to die myself, and how many of these people would lose their life. These disciples paid the ultimate cost. All over the world today, there are 8 Christians going to die today. There's going to be 20 churches burnt down by governments. But there is a cost to following after him. You need to look and say, am I following after Jesus Christ because this? And answer that question. As Peter says, I have nowhere else to go because you have the words to eternal life. We love you. Hope you have a good day.